your breakup, you were living in a house that was in his name.
Correct.
And he was paying the bills, according to what you wrote. And years before, according to you, you purchased a car with all of your funds, but the car was placed in both of your names. And at the time of your breakup, a couple of years later, you took the car and left.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then you say, when he left, you stayed in the house with his permission, something that he denies. And that night he came home and assaulted you. And then you say you were put out of the house subsequently because the house is in his name. And while you were out of the house and came back a couple of weeks later when the protective order that he filed against you was lifted, you found that he had taken some of your property. Those are your claims.
No, he cleared out the whole house. There was nothing left in the house.
That's not true, Your Honor.
He cleaned out his house.
Well, we both lived there together.
His house.
You were
You're not married.
You were awarded the house. I was awarded the house.
You're not married. The lease is in his name to the house.
The judge ordered me possession of the...
That's not true, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear. Don't interrupt her.
Would you like the court order?
I always like to look at court orders. Oh, no, this is nonsense. Listen to me. I want to see what you wrote in order to get this. This is an ex parte temporary order of protection. Ex parte, which means you went to the court alone, without him, and told the court a story. As a result of that story, they said he's got to stay away from you.
That's incorrect. I was the petitioner. She's a respondent. I got the court order against her.
Not true.
I left the house on August 30th, came back with the sheriff's and a court order on September 9th, had her removed from the house. Her possessions were given to her, all there, ordered by the judge. That was issued when we went back for a permanent order of protection. And then I said, Your Honor, I left the house. I'm not buying the house from that guy. She can have the house.
He's not being honest, Your Honor.
Okay, just a minute. So before this happened,
Yes.
she filed an order of protection against you?
No.
Never.
One time in 2009, he's filed 8. And what he does is when he goes out and
Morning perfectly. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're going to get a chance.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, let's try to do this serially so that I understand that this is a one. We know that the house is in his name. And we know that there's a car that's in both your names?
Correct.
The car was purchased when?
In September of 2013.
If you speak again, I'm putting you out. Do you understand?
Yes.
Give me the date again.
September 2013. I purchased it with
Just
a
a second.
settlement. Okay.
And it is your claim that only your funds were used?
Correct.
And at that time you were living with the defendant?
Correct.
Show me where the funds came from.
Right here. It's where the yellow is.
How much was the car, sir?
I purchased the car for $4,200.
Can you tell me why she wrote you a check for $46.90?
On what date?
September of 2013.
She had gotten a settlement for $9,000 some change in September. Before the settlement, I purchased the car. And I also...
Just a second.
Okay.
I want you to stop.
Okay.
You know, you a check for $4,690. What was it for?
$3,500 of it went to a lawyer in Springfield, Illinois for a child custody battle. And the other, $1,100 change, was money I had given her for clothes in advance on her settlement before it got there.
I don't believe that.
Okay, well...
I don't believe that. We'll talk about an advance for a lawyer, maybe. But I don't believe about the clothes.
Well, she wanted to go shopping. And
she wanted to go, you've always let her go shopping because she didn't work.
Right.
So you've always paid for her clothes, 7 years. So all of a sudden she's paying you in advance?
Well, she was
You're
trying to
going
get
to start to get dry mouth, Mr. DeWeese.
No.
Do you understand? The mouth is going to start to get dry. What was the money for?
She was reimbursing me for money I'd given her.
Well, for money for a lawyer,
right.
$3,500. Careful.
Yes.
Is that right?
Right.
Show me where you gave her $3,500.
The lawyer?
Yeah, for the lawyer.
Well, I mean, I've got it
Well,
on my
show me.
email on my phone.
Show me. I'll be more than happy to take it if that's... Put your hand... Do is show me the check that you wrote to the lawyer for $3,500 or the check that you wrote to her some evidence. It has nothing to do with my calling the lawyer.
Okay, well, I mean, I gave the lawyer a money order for $3,500.
You gave the lawyer a money order?
Yes, I did.
Why? You have a bank account.
I decided to give her a money order. I mean,
what?
I gave her a money order.
I don't believe you. You have a bank account and you write checks. Nobody who's not a moron goes to the bank to get a money order when they have a checking account. Take out money out of a checking account to go and buy a money order to pay a lawyer.
Ma'am, I bought that car. She doesn't even know what it came from.
Just a second. All I'm asking you is, show me.
Okay, I can't. I'm not going to show you.
Show me that you, show me that you bought the car.
Okay, I can show you that I bought the car in a different manner than you're asking me. I mean, I don't have anything that you're asking for me right now. I'm telling you, when I can address the car issue, I have proof that I bought the car. I don't have what you're asking, ma'am.
Do you have the title to the car?
I have the title to the car.
Let me see it.
I have the title in Illinois. She's got a copy of it right here.
I want to see the title to the car.
I don't have a title to it. She's got a duplicate title.
I've got a copy of it.
So you have two choices, sir. You can either sign the car over to her, or I will...
He said he was going to.
Or I will put the title to her, free and clear. Do you get it?
Thank you.
Because I don't believe you. If you're coming to court and you know one of the things that you have to prove is that you provided the funds for this car for some bizarre reason.
We borrowed money for the car, and here's the financing for it.
Just a second.
We refinanced the vehicle.
Just a minute. Refinancing is a totally different story. If you want to tell me that she bought the car and while you were together, you refinanced the car and you both used the money together to refinance the car, that's fine. But we're talking about the purchase of the car in September of 2013, and she writes you a check for $46.90. So let me explain exactly where we're at. I said, what did she give you the $46.90 for? And you gave me a story, and you said she was paying me back $3,500 for a lawyer and money I advanced her for clothes. Well, with me, my checkbook with me to show me that. But I can get it because then I would let you go outside and call your bank and say, just send me whatever date it was, month and year that you paid for the lawyer. The bank would have sent us that 30 seconds. But instead you made up a story and you said, well, I gave her a money order. Why would you give her a money order? So I don't believe a word you said to me just now. You made up a story. You make up a story about one thing. You make up a story about everything. The car is going to be hers. If you have possession of the car, I'm going to make sure that you get an order to the Department of Motor Vehicles for the car.
Okay.
If he does anything to the car, because I'm going to entertain his counterclaim, because he has some counterclaim for property and whatever. If I award you any money, it's going to be held until she gets the car in good condition.
I don't have a problem giving her the car.
Then we're fine.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You said I kissed the ring on my...
Ex-boyfriend David DeWeese owes for a car, stolen property, and a false restraining order. David is countersuing for an engagement ring, household electronics, and for harassment.
Where's the title to the car?
It's a copy.
I have the original. I'll give her.
No, just a second.
I have the text message saying if I'm...
Just all right. We now have him on tape indicating that he is going to...
I've got the car sent and cleaned out ready. If this happened, it's hers. I got it. We'll give it to her.
Thank you.
You want me to sign where I'm supposed to sign on here? Like right where it says?
No, I want you to sign where you're not supposed to sign.
You got me good there. So...
Would you give that to her, please?
Good. Thank you.
Where will the car be for her to pick it up?
I could have my dad pick it up. Can my dad pick it up or something? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All I need is a phone call. It's cleaned out, ready to go.
Where is it?
Right now, it's a commercial building of mine.
Is it running?
Yeah, I mean,
fine.
There are keys in it.
Great. Now, that's really the thrust of your case, correct?
Correct.
Great.
Well,
now, let's deal with...
when we were together, we both pawned it way before we even broke up, and it was for $300, and he got the money to pay the phone bills. But I have the ticket.
Can I see it?
You sure can. He didn't have it.
Just a second.
Okay.
Tell me the date that he left in the BMW never to come back?
I don't know the exact date, but I know it was either like at the very end of August or the very beginning of September.
Well, that's easy. You have police reports?
No, not on me.
August 30th is when I left.
Yeah, correct.
August
2014.
30th? Well,
And when I left, the ring was with my personal property. It had been given back to me. We agreed not to get engaged.
well, Pawn King says that it was pawned on August 11th.
That is correct.
Well, she pawned it on August 11th. I didn't pawn it.
Just a second.
I never pawned anything. So if it got pawned, I didn't do it.
Just a second. That's true, but it wasn't there. Listen to me. You were still together as a couple on August 30th when you left. That's according to what you just told me.
We were living together. We had agreed that it was over, and I had that ring, iPad, iPhones, electronics next on my side of the bed in a box.
What do you mean on your side of the bed?
There was two sides of the bed.
Her side
I had
and
a
your
nightstand
side.
on
Just
each
a
side.
second. Just a second. There were two sides. I read this complaint and answer. I was sympathetic to you because your answer says she's a real nut. She's violent. She's crazy.
Here's violence.
But now,
Sorry.
But now you say, despite the fact that your relationship was over, you kept the engagement ring and other valuable things not in your bedroom. Listen to me what you just said. You didn't say to me, I kept the ring in my bedroom because we were really not together anymore.
On my nightstand.
And she had given, I kept the ring in my bedroom on my nightstand. You said I kept the ring on my side of the bed.
Yeah, my side, exactly. Not her side.
Well, my side, not her side. So between the 11th and the 30th when you left is what you're telling me you should
Say that. I said it was my side of the bed. I didn't say we shared a bed.
Your case is dismissed on the counterclaim, sir. I don't believe a word you say. You have your car back. That's it.
What about my
period?
property?
Mr. Schroeder.
Yes.
I read your whole complaint. This is what I think your complaint is about. This is where I think you're slightly off, sir. You had a mobile home. You rented that mobile home to Miss Larson under a rent to... She was going to pay like something like $6,000 for the mobile home. Little less. And she was going to pay you $400 a month rent.
Right.
She moved into the mobile...
Gave her notice on the 20th of October.
That you were evicting her.
Yes.
For non-payment of rent. In September when she moved in?
No.
So she didn't pay rent for September and October.
That's correct.
So that's $800.
Correct.
So you want her to pay you $5,000.
Yes.
She had this rent to own.
Do I have a promissory note?
I don't care. Use it for wallpaper. She didn't pay rent for 2 months, sir. Could you prove to me? Listen.
Or October 16th.
When did you move in?
September 8th.
September.
With
Did you pay rent?
Yeah, with the deposit that I was supposed to have paid.
Just a second. Did you give him a deposit?
Yeah.
How much?
It was the $200 that he told me to pay.
Just a sec. The whole thing didn't go through with rent to own. I want you to forget that. He can't sue on the contract. Did you pay him in total for September and October?
For September?
No, here. How you were living in the trailer?
No.
So you owe him $800 and you gave him $200. Do you acknowledge she gave you the $200?
Yes.
Good. So now she owes you $600. When did you move out? Don't look over here.
Last week.
In November. What do you do for a living?
I'm a mentor.
Who do you mentor?
I was working a part-time.
You were divorced from your former husband in what year?
2011.
How long were you married?
A little over a year.
Subsequently, according to what I read, the two of you decided to try to make a go of the relationship again. When you decided to try working out your relationship again, where were you living?
I was living in Spokane in an apartment.
Did she move into the apartment or did you move?
I moved into where she was living.
When you moved into where she was living, did you bring anything with you?
Just my clothes.
At some point, you left that residence.
We did, yes.
The two of you?
Yes.
Where did you go?
We bought
A house together that was in both your names?
No, I refuse to have my name on anything because at this point...
Just a second. I don't care.
Okay.
So the house was in his name.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you moved into the house, the main part of your lawsuit is, according to you, he bought you as a gift Take one thing at a time. You're going to convince me of that.
Okay.
Because if somebody that I was trying to rekindle a relationship with bought me a stove and a refrigerator as a gift, they'd be wearing it. So you're going to have to convince me, madam, that when you moved into this place that had no stove and refrigerator, or had an old stove and a refrigerator, that he bought you a stove and refrigerator.
Okay. It didn't have a stove or refrigerator in it.
Just a second. So it didn't have a stove and a refrigerator anymore. You
Right.
may be keeping house together, but you're not married anymore.
Correct.
So you each have your own individual property. So the house that had no stove and fridge now had a stove and fridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about it.
He told me, he says, let's go down to Fred's Appliances. I'm going to buy you, and I want you to pick it out because you're the one that's going to be using it. I want you to pick what you...
Give it to you? At all. He said, you're going to be cooking, not me. So pick out the stove
No.
that you like. I want you to be happy with it.
And I want to prove that you're
And this
going
is
to make it.
and I want to prove that this is our home. I'm proving to you that this is our home. I'm letting you pick it out. No gift. You don't get it back, and you don't get the money for it. Now, let's go to the next thing that you think he's responsible for. Didn't work out. Washer, dryer. Now, washer and dryer, something different. You brought with you.
I did.
From where?
From my home in Deer Park.
And when did you purchase it?
Miss right around.
Mm-hmm. And you left. According to what I read, you said you wanted it.
Yes, ma'am.
According to him, you said you put it outside.
Yes, ma'am.
And when it was gone, you thought she took it.
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you put it outside?
We took it out the back door, and there's a gate on my fenced yard. I put it just outside of the gate, and we told her...
If she could take care of it, you
He
can't just
couldn't
put it
get it.
outside. Somebody's going to come and get it. Now,
He
let's
couldn't
move
tell
on.
me.
Let's move on.
You left it there for that.
I'm not talking to you. Don't talk to her. Washer and dryer, $100. Stove and refrigerator, you don't get back. Plus money owed for moving expenses and punitive damages for emotional distress. We're done on you. You get $100. Now, you have a sort of ridiculous counterclaim. You want money owed for rent and utilities.
Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't work out. Didn't work out the first time, didn't work out the second time. A washer and dryer, buy a new one, right?
Right.
Her return of that belonged to whom?
Belonged to me.
She has a television. What kind of television?
It's just an old Sony television.
An old Sony.
Yes.
Where's the old Sony?
It broke.
It broke.
Yes.
So
I
did
was
your
trying-
$100.
It was a great big
So
one.
did your $100. What? You were divorced. It didn't work out. You have no claims against each other. I've just resolved them all. The TV broke in your care. The TV was worth $100, the same as your 10-year-old washer and dryer.
Your Honor,
What?
I was not allowed to go get any of my stuff. There are restraining orders.
Good. That you should stay away from each other.
She had
You
the
should listen
restraining
to. What did I tell you?
Sorry.
Listen to me. You're his girlfriend. You moved out. That's it. The
I
relationship
moved out
didn't work
because I
out.
had to.
So you had to. So you had to.
Had
Just
to.
you're a big girl. Do you work?
No.
Well, get a job, and then
I
you don't
can't.
have to live in bad living conditions. You're finished with him. He's not giving you any more money. You were married for a year. You were not married for 35 years. The second time around, it didn't work out.
It didn't
so
work
long.
out because she was
Arrivederci.
screwing around with him.
Goodbye. That's it.
That's a lie.
Defendant, and you were tenants of the defendant for 5 years. You paid your rent, and she was a good landlord. Because you don't look like a fool to me. You wouldn't have stayed if she wasn't a good landlord and if you weren't happy there.
Right.
And then Miss Sahagan decided, which is well within her right, that she wanted to sell her property. And she told you and your roommates that she was going to sell the property, fix it for sale. So evidently, during the time you kept it in good condition, so she was able to stage it. Your two roommates did what they were supposed to do. They found another place to live and moved out. You, on the other hand, begged her to stay. You said, I'll keep the place neat.
I didn't beg.
Listen, I bought property and I sold it. And people who watch here every day know this is the whole complaint that you wrote. And we didn't speak to each other.
No.
So I'm getting what I'm getting from this and from living on this earth for 71 years. So you said to her, let me stay. I'm going to just stay in my room. Everything else is going to be just perfect because I'm not there all the time. So when a realtor comes, they'll be able to come and show the place so you can sell it. That have a ring of truth to you?
Yeah,
Yes.
it does. There was an agreement.
Hey, what you did was, as she's showing the house, because now it's been staged, right?
Yes.
Staged means you put everything nice, the colors are coordinated, you put nice pictures out, you know, of Cary Grant and Sophia Loren and...
Well, that's
you
what
know,
I had. I had Marilyn Monroe.
I'm speaking. It's my playpen, not yours.
I'm sorry.
So you make everything look nice for people that come in. And then you left. You went someplace on business. On what date did you leave the house? Month, date, and year?
I actually left for a family emergency.
I don't care about family emergency.
For a funeral,
Don't strike
and I
me.
left
What
July
month,
9.
day, and year?
July 9, 2014.
And you don't have pets, correct? Right?
I do have that. I have a copy of the lease which states that I can have transient friends and relatives stay.
We're not talking about transient friends and relatives. We're talking about a situation where she was doing you a favor and letting you stay on your guarantee that the place would be perfect for showing because she was selling it. And when you left on July 9th, you moved in a pig with a cat.
That's incorrect.
A pig with a cat. And I assume, Miss Peterson, that you didn't. So you were gone for almost 2 months, leaving the pig and the cat in the house. Now, the pig and the cat did not make an agreement with Miss Sahagan to keep the place spick and span. This pig had no history with her of 5 years. And did the pig pay you any money?
No.
So you were just letting him squat there.
No, he
There
wasn't
was nothing-
squatting. He was house sitting.
No, he wasn't house sitting for you. There was nothing to house sit for. You don't have a canary, you don't have a goldfish, you
I
don't have a
had my
dog,
personal-
you don't have anything.
I had my personal possessions still locked
Then you could have
inside the
put them in
house.
storage. She would have been really happy if you put your personal belongings in storage since you were gone for 2 months.
Well, not
so
according
what
to
you're
our
asking,
verbal
hey,
agreement.
I'm speaking. I'm almost finished. And then I'm going to give you 30 seconds of your nonsense lawsuit. Prospective buyer come in, there's a kitty litter around, there are beer cans around, there's stuff all over the place.
That was actually staged by them.
You mean the
pictures
kitty?
were
You mean the
staged.
kitty? The
No, we
kitty
did
litter
not
was
stage that
the
at
kitty,
all.
Don't speak. The kitty litter was staged by them.
No, not the kitty litter.
It was staged by them.
Any other trash that they said was scattered about
Miss
the
Peterson,
apartment.
you're not getting any money for an illegal eviction. That's not happening. I want you to get that through
But
your noodle.
I have evidence on my lease here that states that I can have transient friends. and
What I'm
relatives
telling you
stay.
is, I'm having a problem with Miss Peterson is she was being nice to you. And I get that from your complaint, not even from her answer. I get that from your complaint. She was being nice to you. And what you did was, without asking her, understanding what the circumstance was. Just a minute. Are you telling me you asked her if you could move somebody else in? No, just a second. Don't shake your head. No. Just answer the question. And you shook your head. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you did ask her if you could move in somebody else. Did you ask her?
I did not need to.
No, I didn't say. No. Listen, passive-aggressive. The only one who's passive-aggressive here is me. She was being nice to you. She was saying, you know, we asked you all to leave. You said, I don't have a place to go. Maybe if
They
family
never asked me to
emergency,
leave.
maybe I busted my toe. Whatever
They
it is,
didn't
I'm going to
ask me to
stay.
leave.
Hey, I'm going to stay and I'm going to be neat. Because she...
Van so he could start a mobile car washing business.
Miss Cotton, the defendant used to be your boyfriend. He's not your boyfriend anymore. It is your claim that while you were dating, you made a loan to him in the amount of $600. Mr. Walker says that you never made a loan to him, that in fact you did give him money to fix his car, but that's only because you wanted him to do you a favor. Right?
Correct.
Of a dream that he had, which was to get it ready to start this business. And so
Well, what did he need his vehicle for?
he has a van, and he was converting it from a passenger van into the mobile car wash. He was putting like a big water tank in it, and he needed to replace like struts or whatever to support the weight of that water tank.
Van?
Yes, correct.
That's an interesting dream. How long have you had that dream?
I had it for years, but that has nothing to do with Mississippi. Before she went there, she asked me to come down there with her to meet her dad. So I told her that my van wouldn't make it without some repairs being done to the van.
Not the repairs that had anything to do with the water tank.
Correct.
The van needed other repairs other than to make it into this mobile car wash van.
Well, it doesn't necessarily need repairs. Yes.
Okay. How many miles is it to go to Miss Cotton? Bill for the repairs that you did on the car?
No, I don't.
Why not?
I had them, but over the months I misplaced them.
Now, who did the repairs for you?
Williams Auto Body.
Okay, and that was before you went to pick her up?
Correct.
And the water tank and new struts, and that was never done to your van?
That was later.
Was it done to your van?
Yes.
Where did you get the money from? Repairs. You say in order to go and fetch her from her father's, they were all done in the same month.
Yes.
Beginning to get the picture, Mr. Walker. Now, how much after June did you and Miss Cotton terminate your relationship?
Probably.
For the plaintiff, that's all.
Parties are excused when they step out.
Well, everything went fine when we was in this.
Vanessa Howard is suing her former friend, Ontrell Brooks, for a car loan.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Hello, Judge.
Hello.
Case 2108, Howard versus Brooks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Howard, your case is simple. You claim a loan to the defendant for the down payment on a car.
Yes.
When did you make this loan?
March 24th of this year.
How much was it?
I gave him $1,500 and he paid $300.
Where did you take the money from?
I had it at my home.
In cash?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a hairstylist. I'm an owner-operator.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's the sole source of your income?
Yes. I own a salon business. I'm opening my second one.
Tell me how you know the defendant.
He was a client of a former stylist many years ago, so I met him during the salon.
Did you have any sort of relationship with him?
At the time that I met, no.
No. At the time that you gave him this loan,
we were friends.
What did he say he needed the loan for?
To get a vehicle.
To get a car?
He was at Mercedes trying to purchase another car, and I knew he had a baby on the way, so I felt it was...
I want to know what he said to you.
He said that he needed help with the down payment. He was short some for a down payment on a car that he wanted.
Did you have that conversation on the phone or in person?
Yeah, he called me and asked me for originally $2,500 to help him with the down payment. And I told him, well, I don't know if I have that much. I'll see what I can get him. I had the $1,500. He came to pick it up at my home.
And that was on the 24th of March?
Yes.
When did you purchase your car?
I believe it was the 24th as well.
You have any paperwork for the car? What paperwork do you have there? I just want to see what you brought with you today.
Basically, the lien holder paper.
And what is that supposed to tell me?
I believe it has the date on there when I purchased it.
Okay. And how much did you put down on the car?
$9,000.
Did you trade in a car?
No.
Why did you need $2,500 from her?
I actually didn't ask for it. I just mentioned to her that I...
No, well, just a second. I asked you a question.
Okay.
Why did you need extra money towards the down payment? Did it affect the payments? Did it affect the insurance? Did it affect the premium?
Basically, the car, it was like $74,000. So if I was to put down a lower payment, like you were saying, the payment would be higher for the monthly. So if I put down a little more, it dropped it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she gave you $1,500, not $25.
Yes.
But she gave you $1,500.
Yeah.
And she gave that to you around the same time that you purchased the car. Were you current in your insurance payments on the car?
Yes.
And then you crashed the car.
Yes.
And the insurance company paid the lien holder on the car.
Yes.
Made the payout.
Yes.
So you didn't get any money from the insurance.
No.
So now you have no car, right? I don't know if you have a car now.
I have a car, yes.
Well, you got another car.
Yes.
What kind of car did you buy?
Tesla.
A Tesla. And how much did you pay for the Tesla?
I put down like $8,000.
Where'd you get the $8,000 from?
I have a place where I hold traveling nurses.
Did you take the money out of a bank or did you have it in cash?
I had it in cash.
The $8,000.
Yeah.
How much money do you make from this business that you have?
It varies depending on how many nurses I have staying there.
So you own the property, or do you manage the property?
I manage the property. So it's basically housing nurses or people that travel for business.
And how long have you had that business?
I've been doing that for maybe a couple years now.
That's how you support yourself?
That, and I do training as well, fitness training.
Okay, so now you paid back $300 of the $15, right?
I gave her $300.
Right, and when did you give her the $300?
I'm not quite sure the date, but
Give me a month.
I'm not quite sure.
When did he give you the $300?
May 17th.
Okay.
Tell me why you gave it back, the $300.
I gave it back to her because she basically...
Not basically, this is basically.
Because she kept asking for it. So just to get her off me for a second. So I gave her $300. I didn't feel like I owed it to her because I thought that, you know, it was given to me because we were like really cool.
Just a second. Okay. All right. Well, Miss Howard.
You
Miss
can't
Howard.
be serious.
Miss Howard.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been operating your 2 salons?
I'm opening a new one now, and the first one was opened in 2012.
Do you live with anyone?
My children.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
How old are they?
I have a 17, 18, and 21-year-old.
Big kids?
Yeah, college and high school, yes.
Who supports them?
I do.
From
Their
your
father
work?
helps too, yes.
From your work. Do you live with their father?
No.
No. But he also helps.
Yes,
with
he
them.
does.
And you sound like a really intelligent, put-together woman who's had her own business, who's got 3 kids, or college kids.
Yes.
Moving forward.
Yes.
Why? Why do you think, you know, I know that you work, because if you're a hairdresser and that's your source of income, you work really hard. It takes a long time to accumulate $1,500. You know, I'm sure you get some tips and stuff. That's the cash that you keep.
Yeah.
So you work hard and you've got 3 kids who need money. He wants to buy an uber expensive car and he wants his payments to be lower. So he says to you, not that he needs it. See, he doesn't need it to get a car. He wants it to make his payments lower.
That's not how he presented it to me.
How did he present it to you?
He said he needs help. He needs the money for the down payment. And I knew, he told me that, you know, the situation, his car got taken away or whatever. And
his car got what?
His previous vehicle was taken from him.
From how?
I don't know.
What kind of a car did you have? Before you bought the BMW?
That's what it was. It was a BMW.
Oh, and then you bought a Mercedes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you bought, sorry, I got that confused. You bought the Mercedes using some of her money. Before that, you had a BMW.
Yes.
Okay, and now you have a Tesla. Do you understand how foolish that sounds?
Yes.
You don't want to sound foolish.
Well, like I said, he's had a baby on the way any day now, and my compassion for the situation, I was like, okay, I'll give you that. And I know he's had a source of income. It's not like I've ever known him not to have an income. So I felt like, okay, he'll do right by me. Of course, he didn't. We see.
Do you know how many people stand in exactly that spot and say, you know, I trusted him. He gave me this story, he gave me that story.
Yes.
And what I'm telling you is most of the people standing there, for some reason that has always baffled me, are women. Any guy who takes money from you to lower his car payment and buys a car for $75,000, the only people that do that sort of thing are untrustworthy. Then you change the contract and you said, not acceptable. You're behind $500 and a late payment will only be acceptable with a current payment. Is there anything about that in your contract?
There's not.
Okay, so if it's not in your contract, it doesn't exist.
Vanessa Howard claims her former friend, Ontrell Brooks, owes for a car loan.
Most of the people standing there, for some reason that has always baffled me, are women.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I have guys standing there and say, you know, she asked me for this, and so I knew she had a baby on the way, and I felt sorry for it, so I gave them money.
Right.
Most of the time, they say goodbye, which is what you should have said. And
absolutely.
You appear to be much too fine a lady and
thank you.
A hardworking lady. Don't give anybody.
No more.
Any guy who takes money from you to lower his car payment and buys a car for $75,000 and asks you for $1,000 or $2,000, knowing that you're a working gal and that he didn't need it to buy a car. He could have bought a car for $50,000. Could have bought a car for $30,000.
Right.
Likes to drive fancy cars with somebody else's money, okay?
Yes.
So the only people that do that sort of thing are untrustworthy. usually, as my great-grandmother would call them, bums. So I would suggest that you be smart in the future. You're a hardworking lady. Hold on to your money. If you want to invest in anything, invest in your children's future. We're done here. Judge McClain.
This court is adjourned.
Mr. Brooks took my money with no intentions of paying back.
I thought it was, she gave it to me.
Oh, car crashed, my tires got slashed.
I thought it was a gift because she really liked me.
Don't let men borrow money.
Lovely woman, hardworking woman. She's going to have a chain, as Dolly Parton would say, have a chain. Going to have a second salon. On the other side, you have somebody with zero judgment.
He's well-versed in other people's money.
Why a perfectly sensible, bright woman would take money that she worked really hard for and give it to somebody that she hardly knows.
Women have to be smarter.
The women have to be smarter, worry about themselves.
Case 2083, David versus Baroon. All parties, please step forward.
Joseph David is suing his former friend, Jonathan Borum, for podcast equipment.
Mr. David, your claim that the defendant has acoustical equipment that you purchased for what looks to be a joint venture in Mr. Borum's music podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
You were making this music podcast in the basement of your house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Starting in what year?
This year of March.
And Mr. David, you were friends, you knew each other, and you knew he was in this business. I don't know, what is your business?
I deliver bread. I'm a bread vendor.
What kind of interest do you have in music? Because that's what he was doing.
Well, me and Jonathan have known each other for 20 years.
Jonathan and I have known each other.
Jonathan and I have known each other for 20 years, and he's always been in the music scene. He's an artist himself.
Well, that's what I gather. What about you?
I was just a supportive friend in it.
Okay, well, clearly you spent some money on music equipment, so it was more than being a supportive friend. If you were just being a supportive friend, then you made a gift to him of this music equipment.
No, ma'am.
You decided you wanted to be part of this music podcast. That's what you said.
Correct.
When did you make that decision?
Sometime mid-June after I had...
June of this year?
This year, correct. I had received a small amount of money, and I was able to...
From where?
A settlement from
From
an
what?
injury, car accident.
Okay, how much did you receive?
A little under 50 grand. And I seen an opportunity for me to invest and help out and help a friend and be able to invest into something that if we blew up one day, I could receive, royalties from and money back in return. And
Did you have a written agreement with him?
We did not have a written agreement.
Well, I'd like to know what the agreement was.
So he was also in the car accident with me as well. And so he's got a settlement coming. He told me, this was all verbal, that once he received that money, he would pay me back at least half of the equipment.
So you would have a joint venture and he would pay you for half the equipment you purchased?
This was at the beginning, correct.
Do you remember, Mr. Borum, that conversation?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Were you in the automobile accident with him?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
You did not receive a settlement. Is there any reason?
We're still going through the court process.
Okay, so you're going to trial.
Actually, that's what it was set to go to trial because I didn't get the offer that my lawyer put in. So it's going to trial on my side, but on his behalf.
No, he's already settled his case.
Yeah, mine's not settled yet.
Okay. You indicate what you want is your equipment back.
No, I'd like the money back.
No, well, you get your equipment back. If it's yours.
I want the money. I don't trust that he will give me the equipment back in good condition.
Let me explain this to you, Mr. David. If that's what you want, then I'm going to let you withdraw this case and go back to small claims court. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice, which will allow you to go back to your small claims court, or do you wish to proceed with it today?
I wish to proceed.
Great.
Joseph David claims his former friend, Jonathan Borum, is wrongfully keeping his podcast equipment.
When you decided to enter this, according to you, agreement, that you would be in a joint venture, when he got his money, he would pay in his half of what the equipment costs, which you indicate, I think, is about $4,400.
Correct.
What I gather is there was a session set up that was supposed to take place in your basement.
Yes, ma'am.
And when was that?
I believe it was around like early June-ish.
Okay. And you have proof of the value of the equipment, I assume, and exactly what equipment there is.
Correct.
Is there, Mr. Borum, a dispute about what equipment he purchased?
Is there a dispute? Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
because he has a receipt. I just want to know if I have to go into this.
Well, on the receipt, he purchased it on his card, but we're friends. We were going in together, so he bought it on his card because he had the money.
Oh, just a second. I understand that, Mr.
I thought
Borum.
you
I'm
asked.
asking you
fine.
whether there is an agreement as to what the pieces he purchased on his card.
Yes, ma'am. As far as the agreement, I'm not understanding the question.
Okay. What pieces of equipment did he buy that's in your basement?
Cameras,
Camera,
cords,
cord,
and probably the Black Magic.
Black Magic?
Black Magic, yes, ma'am. It's a device that works.
Do you know what he's talking about?
I do.
Anything else that's down there that you purchased other than those 3 items?
Yes, ma'am. In total,
What? Shh, look at me. Tell me what else.
total, there's 2 Panasonic cameras.
Are there 2 cameras
Yes,
that he
ma'am.
purchased? 2 cameras.
Can I look down for...
I can't hear you if you're mumbling.
There's lighting, 3 lights. There's
3 lights. Did he purchase 3 lights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
wireless mics.
How many?
It's a set of 2.
Did he purchase those?
Yes, ma'am. And not to correct you, but we purchased those.
No, you didn't pay for it.
I gave him the money.
Just a second.
I gave him cash.
Oh, you did? Well, you're going to show me proof of that in a moment.
Well, I don't have proof that I gave him cash. No, ma'am. But because we were friends, so.
Just a second.
Okay.
You have no proof? Did he give you cash?
No, ma'am. He never gave me $1.
Fine.
Not a penny.
Okay,
not a
let's
dime.
go. We have 3 lights, 2 mics. What else?
HDMI cord.
He has a cord.
Blackmagic A10.
He has that.
256 gigabyte SD card.
What is that?
Memory card.
It's a $50 memory card. It adds up.
Let's go.
The card reader, 20-foot cables, a stencil, and a table.
Just a second. A stencil and a table. Describe that.
It's for the logo that we made for the podcast. I purchased the stencil for the logo.
How much did you pay for that?
Between that and the table is $80.
Let's stay with the big ticket items, sir, Henry.
I'm adding
Great.
everything.
Okay. Are we finished with the list?
Yep, that's all.
Very good. How much did you pay for these things minus the $50 card in total? Show me.
Minus the $50.
Yeah.
$43.50.
Okay. And all of that is in your basement now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what happened, according to what I read, there was a music session scheduled. And at the time that there was a music session scheduled, your daughter had COVID.
Yes, ma'am.
She lives on top of the house. Okay. And how old is she?
That was in July. She's 10 months now, so probably about 8 months.
Okay. And she's cared for by both you and your wife. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I gather, Mr. David, that when you found out that there was COVID in the house, you didn't want to go into the basement.
Correct.
And that was sometime in June.
Correct.
Okay, can you tell me about that conversation?
Well, he told me that she had COVID, and then he said that his fiance may possibly have it, and he may possibly have it. He even took off work, and I filled in for him at work for 3 days because he may have had COVID or not, and he said he wasn't
Well, he
feeling
wasn't. He
well.
didn't want to go in and risk it.
Correct. So I told him I do not want to continue with this interview. He said he would continue on.
You mean
with
the
it.
interview that was supposed to take place in the
Correct.
basement?
Correct.
How much after, Mr. David, did you find out that the infant had COVID and that Mr. Borum and his wife were both exposed? Was the video podcast supposed to be made in the basement?
2-3 days.
Is that correct, Mr. Borum?
From anywhere between 2 to 5 days, ma'am.
And when Mr. David told you he didn't feel comfortable coming into the house, what did you say to him?
I said, okay, I would have someone else fill in his position because I understood why he didn't want to come over.
Okay, and did you have someone fill in his position?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened, Mr. Borum?
The episode got done and it wasn't up to par with Joseph's standards. So that's when the argument begun.
Okay, and the argument was what?
The argument was the guy didn't do it right, so it was a lot of bickering. So I told Joe, I just do the editing myself. And he took that as I was cutting him out.
Okay, so he was supposed to do the editing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and why did you say, I'll do the editing myself?
Because he was yelling at me and I told him.
What was he yelling at you?
Because he said that the product wasn't up to par. He said,
Just a second, Mr. Borum, this is your business.
Right.
Will you tell me, did you think the product was up to par?
I did, but I thought it was up to par, but I took his recommendation because I brought him in for production. So I was like, okay, if you don't feel like it's up to par, let's figure it out. But then we kept going back and forth. So at that moment, I was like, you know what? I'll just do it myself so we can stop the confrontation because you didn't want to tell the guy what he did wrong. So then that's when the argument started, and he thought that I was kicking him out, which I never told him he couldn't come over, never told him he couldn't be a part of anything. I just told him I wasn't going back and forth because that's why I brought you in for that.
May I see the credit card statement from the purchase of this equipment? And Mr. Borum, I want to see where you took out $2,200 from in cash. I want to see where you took. You said you paid him half.
$2,200. I didn't pay half.
Well, what'd you pay?
I never stated that I
Just
paid half.
shh. If you're partners, that's what you have to pay. How much did you give him?
I gave him money here and there, like on all the.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help me, sir. That doesn't help me. piece of bank
I
statement.
didn't think
What?
I had to keep a record if we was best friends for 15 years. That's just...
I can't help you, sir. I can't help you if you say you paid a little bit here and there. I can't help you with that.
Never gave me a dime.
So when you state that if you're a friend, you're doing this to help me out as a gift for what I got going on.
Never a gift.
And then you try to bring it and take it back from me.
Mr. Borum, how many podcasts have you made since June?
Since June?
Yeah.
I believe we on episode 15, 16, something like that.
15, 16. Successfully.
Yes, ma'am.
And you intend to do this for profit?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you so far seen any profit?
Not as now, because you know you gotta build up.
Just a second. So not as of yet.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
Does your wife work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have two incomes in the house.
Right.
And this is a side job for you.
Correct.
But you have to buy your own equipment because he's coming to get his equipment. That's going to be the court's order.
So if
it's
I
his
already
equipment.
it's
his equipment. The equipment
so he
that
can't gift it to me. That's what he told me he was doing because we was friends. And he appreciated what I was doing.
This is why we're here.
Right.
And now I heard you, and I heard him, and now I'm ruling. I am making an order that he, within 5 days of today, with a marshal or a sheriff, will come and pick up his equipment.
So you giving him my equipment back is tarnishing what I got going on.
I'm giving him his equipment back.
But he never used it, though.
I don't care whether he used it or not. It was a failed business venture where you both expect...
It's not a business venture.
This is not a tea dance. He's getting back his equipment. You and your wife have a side business going. Go buy equipment. Do you understand? 5 days, wait outside. You'll get a copy of my order. You can go get your equipment. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
A 15-year friendship, obviously it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Eventually, you see the real person in somebody. That's all I can say.
You could be friends with somebody 100 years, and they gonna change.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had a good friend for a while, but really...
Man, the show gonna go on, man. Y'all know, make sure y'all watch, tune in.
I was just tolerating a really bad person.
I've had understandings with my friends similar to what the plaintiff and defendant has. One of my friends will stay in my apartment from time to time for a few nights, and I always make sure, because you never want a holdover tenant or a friend staying longer than you had anticipated, and I'll text and I'll say, okay, you're good to stay there Thursday and Friday night. Let me know if there's any problems, but you got to be gone by 9 a.m. on Saturday. Just to memorialize the understanding that I think I have, even with friends. It's just always smart to have some sort of record of a business, an understanding, a trade-off. I just think that it's good practice to, even if it's just a text, something to memorialize what you believe the understanding to be.
I agree with you. Yeah. And that would make my job easy, but would eliminate this TV program.
Potentially.
Suing her former roommate, Lulu Onawaka, for a rental deposit, moving costs, and lost wages.
Ms. McRae, you were looking for a room, and you rented a room in defendant's apartment. It didn't work out. You were unhappy. She was unhappy. You moved out. And now you want return of rent, deposit, moving costs, lost wages, and emotional distress. She also said, didn't work out. We didn't like each other. It just wasn't a good fit. So you were happy she left. That's either a yes or a no. You were happy she left.
No, ma'am.
You weren't happy you wanted her to stay.
No, ma'am.
Then you were happy she left.
No, ma'am. I wasn't happy she left.
Okay, this is what you say. Brittany, that would be you.
Yes.
This is your answer. Was messy, played loud music, brought friends in. After that, I let her know we weren't a good fit and would not be renewing her lease.
No.
Now, that's what you said.
We'll not be renewing the lease for the apartment.
No. Doesn't matter. I just read you something. I read you your answer. Now, does that sound somebody that was happy with their roommate?
I define happiness for myself. I've lived in co-living where I've had to live with people I do not like.
What?
And make it work is what I'm trying to say. So that wasn't the issue.
The damage she's referring to was actually me attempting to change the locks on the door. I was trying to change the lock because during my time away, all of my belongings.
Brittany McRae claims her former roommate, Lulu Onawaka, owes for a rental deposit, moving costs, and lost wages. Lulu is countersuing for property damage and storage fees.
Brittany was messy, played loud music, brought friends in unannounced. She damaged the washing machine, flooded the apartment, and without my consent offered to adopt someone's dog. After that, I let her know we weren't a good fit. and wouldn't be renewing the lease. That's what you wrote. Do you want me to show that to you?
No, you are right, and that is what I wrote.
Absolutely. Well, then I don't know why you have a passive-aggressive attitude, because I'm the only one who's passive-aggressive. Then you were happy she left.
No.
Okay, well, you're ridiculous. Then weren't a good fit, and yet you were happy with that. And I don't have to define happiness.
Yes.
I know that if I lived with somebody who was messy, sometimes loud,
Okay, so each his
we
own.
broke the dishwasher and flooded the apartment because they put regular soap instead of dishwashing soap into the apartment, then it sort of bubbles all over. Now, unless I was either married to that person or they were one of my family, I wouldn't be happy with them. If I had a tenant like that, I would say, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I want out of this.
Okay.
But you were happy.
No, I wasn't. I stand on that.
Okay, then you weren't happy.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what I asked you. You could have saved me all this dramatic.
I paid $1,300 and a $300 deposit.
And you lived there for about a month.
I lived there for 26 days.
And things didn't work out. You had a big argument with her back and forth. And as a matter of fact, according to you, you left for a couple of days.
I did.
Yes, because you were unhappy there and felt threatened, felt uncomfortable, whatever
Very
it was.
much so.
So you left for a couple of days. And when you came back, what was your intention when you came back?
So,
No, look, not so. Look at me. You left because you were unhappy. You came back. What was your intention when you came back?
I never left because I was unhappy. I left because I was evicted from the property by the defendant.
Just a second. So you didn't leave the apartment after this disagreement?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
Okay. Where did you go?
I actually stayed with my friend.
So you left?
Yes.
On what date?
I left on June 1st.
You
provide some backstory on
I don't need any
encounter.
backstories. I'm just trying to get to a mindset of why the two of you think that you have a lawsuit against each other. Why do you bother wasting your own time, wasting precious court time when you weren't happy in the apartment, you paid for a month's rent. Certainly, you're entitled to your security back if you cause no damage to the apartment. You lived there practically a month, and you're not entitled to any more money because she didn't give you 30 days' notice because you were just as happy that
She had
left.
abandoned properties.
What?
She had abandoned properties.
Okay.
She damaged the door, and I lost my deposit as well.
That's a door.
The
An outer door, a door to her room.
Yes.
The door to her room.
Yes, she did that.
You have a photograph of the damage.
Yes,
I'd
I
like
do.
to see it.
Please bear with me. I'm going to find it quickly.
The damage she's referring to was actually me attempting to change the locks on the door. I left after I had been informed by the
Just a
defendant.
second. So you acknowledged the door was damaged while you were trying to change the lock
I
on
was
the
trying
door.
to change the lock because during my time away, all of my belongings were still in the property. Correct.
Listen to me. Did you damage the door?
No. The doorknob was removed, but the door is not damaged.
The lock was removed.
The lock was removed.
All right,
so
I'd like
that
to see.
The defendant would no longer have access to my room, to which she actually did enter my room while I was away.
Okay.
I left because the defendant actually informed me that I would need to get out by that date. After requesting a full month of rent.
You can show me the damaged door and how much it was to repair it, and I want to see how much it was to repair it.
I don't have how much it was, but here is the lease agreement, and we paid $2,900 to be here for the security deposit.
Oh, she just took this out. That's nonsense. That's
Ma'am,
nothing.
I wasn't still able to get my deposit
Nothing.
back.
The agreement
I got
that I...
$1,700 back.
Understand this.
Okay.
This is not damage to the door. She took out a cylinder. All you have to do is put it back. Unless you have a receipt for somebody putting it back, you get
No, but
nothing.
that's what I'm saying. We didn't put
you
it
get
back.
nothing.
We
You
didn't
get
put it-
nothing.
It's a maintenance request at the property.
I didn't ask. $300 security deposit. By the way, are you allowed to sublet rooms in your apartment? That's a yes or a no?
No.
Just a hey.
No,
Hey,
no,
don't
I
look down.
wasn't. No, I
don't look
wasn't.
down. So the answer is you are not allowed to sublet rooms in your apartment.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you are not allowed to sublet rooms in your apartment. She gets her deposit back. We're done. Thank you very much.
Court is adjourned.
I didn't concede to her requesting me to clean out a garbage at the apartment, and at that point, she lost her entire senses and asked me to move out of the apartment. Always pick your roommates more carefully.
Okay, so I don't have anywhere to go really on this case except to suggest that people who feel good, look like they have a job, look as if life is otherwise okay for them, and they move into this rental situation, which is very difficult. I never could understand it, to move time schedules. I always thought that that was fraught with danger, and it keeps me in business here. But here you have two women that were both unhappy. You had an unhappy tenant, an unhappy landlord. You had a lease, but both of them were unhappy. It really didn't cost either of them anything. Plaintiff says she didn't get 30 days notice, so she should be compensated for $5,000 on her moving costs and storage
fees, some other things. It seemed like a wash to me when I read the papers. And to have your happiness after the end of constant struggle or battle with each other seemed like a win to me, but apparently it wasn't enough for them.
Apparently not. Well, unfortunate. But she's entitled to a security deposit back.
Business.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Hello, Judge. Case number 212, Duenas versus Cho.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Duenas, it looks to me from your papers that you decided to go into a business with someone.
Yes.
With whom?
With the defendant, Brian Chow.
And you know him how?
He's a family friend.
And you know what his business is?
Yes.
What is his business?
He currently sells reticulated pythons, snakes, exotic animals, monitors, lizards.
And you like those things?
My ex-boyfriend did.
Did you?
I was more for the investment part.
Okay.
I was the investor at the time.
At the time you reached out to this family friend who was in the exotic snake business, your idea was to create a business.
No, Your Honor. It was actually the defendant's idea.
I don't care whose idea it was. Your idea was to create a business with your ex-boyfriend.
I agreed to the business, but it wasn't our idea.
Whether you agreed to the business or not, you invested money in the business.
Yes.
Which means that unless there's something wrong with you, and I see that there is not, you wanted to go into business with the defendant.
Yes.
So let's be easy.
Okay.
And at the time that you wanted to go into business with the defendant, I'll get to what the nature of that business was in a second. I know it had something to do with that wonderful-looking snake. You had a boyfriend.
Yes.
And the boyfriend liked snakes.
Yes.
And you went along with the ride.
Yes.
What month and year were you still with the boyfriend when you decided to go into the business, which you will explain to me?
Back in November of 2019.
So right before COVID.
Yes.
What was your boyfriend doing at the time?
He was working at an airport.
And he and Mr. Cho were friends?
Yes.
How long had you known him?
2-3 weeks, Your Honor.
Where did you meet him?
He came into my store and acquired
I didn't ask you anything. That's how you met him?
Yes.
I'm going to get through this case and get this lovely thing out of the courtroom as quickly as I possibly can. Well, some people find them exotic and gorgeous. I find them a little bit squirmy. So in November 2019, boyfriend and you decided to go into the business. Explain the business that you invested in.
I invested on 5 reticulated pythons in his shop, and together we were going to breed them and make a profit out of them.
So the intention was never for you to take these pythons to your residence?
No.
And you understood that? No.
They're buying the snake, Your Honor.
Okay. How much were the 5 snakes?
In total, it was $10,000, plus the feeding and the cages that he claimed that the snakes needed.
Was it your agreement that for $10,000, Ms. Duenas and the boyfriend were going to buy 1 male snake and 4 females?
They decided to buy 2 snakes.
Well, when was that decision made, sir?
A week after I met him, because
When you went into the shop, did you ultimately decide on 1 male, 1 female?
No, so how it is, Your Honor, is he knew my ex-boyfriend prior to the business 5 years ago. He sold him a exotic Australian monitor lizard.
Okay, what I want you to tell me is, did there come a time when the arrangement changed, so instead of 1 male and 4 females, you were supposed to get 1 male and 1 female?
No, Your Honor. The whole way it was supposed to be 1 male and 4 females.
Do you have any sort of a receipt for that?
We have Instagram conversations.
Do you have that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Right here.
1 male, 4 females. The guy's asking $15,000 for all, and then he says, I'll drop it to 12. Then somebody, I don't have 12 now. I just spent a lot on my monitor. Let's go the rest. Okay, so he said, I don't have that money now. He says, I'm getting 16 lace monitors. You remember that discussion? And then that's a big investment for me right now. I'm saving up to get a house, but I'm down to breed my monitor with any of your monitors. Keep going. So far, I don't have a contract. And then somebody says, no, you pay half and I pay half. Who wrote that?
He did.
1,000. I want to get them, but I'm low on cash till next month. And that's from you. That's from the reptile.
I have to say it, Your Honor.
Okay. If I invest half with you, what will be my return and in how long? Think about it. Will be the baby's mix price. JTK Reptiles, that's you. Somebody's on their way. That's you and your boyfriend?
Yes. We were on our way to give him the money.
And how much money were you going to give him?
We gave him the first time $6,000 and then $4,000, a total of $10,000.
You received that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what did you purchase with the $10,000?
If you look at the message from there, what she showed you is they pay half of the 5 snake. Means they get 2 of the snake, and I get 2 of the snake. They've been lying to you guys since day one. They want to purchase 2 snake. Then I told them, like, if you look at the message, I can use my male to breed it to your female. It's an investment for you guys, not for us. It's no us. It's not with them at all.
Mr. Cho, were they supposed to take possession of the snakes?
They're supposed to pick up the snake. That's why they come to the store with it.
Which snakes were they supposed to take possession of?
One right here and one out there.
Is that a male or a female?
This is the female.
Has she had babies yet?
No, I don't breed her because she don't belong to me.
And how old is she?
Right now, she should be about 6 years old, going 7.
How long do they live?
Over 30 to 40 years, depends on how you take care of them, like I take care of them.
And there's another one outside the courtroom that's the same as this one. Yes. Also a female?
Yes.
And you gave them the $10,000. He acknowledges the $10,000. So we have a verbal contract that you were going to pay for some snakes. He was going to order the snakes for you, which he did. And that was accomplished, and the payment for the snakes was done on what date, the first payment?
Approximately in November of 2019.
And when was the next $4,000 payment?
The same month, I would say like a week.
Good. And when did you order the snakes, Mr. Chow?
Right after I get yeah, because I cannot just acquire the animal without the payment.
Okay, so now you've got the payment and you order the animals.
Yes.
On what date do they arrive?
2 days after, they're FedEx delivered to my shop.
And when did you notify the plaintiff that they were there?
The day that they came. I tell them the snake.
And the boyfriend?
They arrived a week after I notify the boyfriend.
Okay. Now, Ms. Duenas, a week later you went to the shop. And what happened when you went to the shop? Now he's got $10,000 and he's got 2 snakes.
I just want to clarify, Your Honor, that we even gave him money for the tanks because here in the conversations it says that he can't continue having them in tubs. So he needs us to give him money to invest to buy the tanks to house the snakes. So our original plan was for him to keep the snakes because he has the shop. We, at the time, lived in an apartment. He was well aware of this, that we couldn't have big snakes in our apartment.
He says no, you say yes. I'm not sure how I can resolve that. I'm trying to simplify this contract.
Cassandra Duenas claims exotic pet store owner Brian Chow owes her money for a snake breeding business. Brian says Cassandra changed her mind about the business after he purchased the snakes.
Okay, part of the contract was fulfilled because you paid him. Then he ordered the snakes. Second part was fulfilled. I want you to tell me what happened when you went to see the snakes. You say to see them. He says to pick them up a week later.
So when we went to the shop,
Who went?
led us to
Who went?
My ex-boyfriend and I. What led us to there is because after he obtained the snakes, he was not reaching out back to us. He was
just a week later.
Yes.
You went to the shop.
Mm-hmm.
He notified you that the snakes were there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about that. Now, you went to the shop for what purpose?
Because he switched it and then he said it was 2 snakes when originally the plan was 1 male and 4 females. That 1 male was going to breed with the 4. So right out the back, he lied to us what our agreement was here, that he clearly texted us and said 4 males and 1 female. So it was 5 snakes. So we went to the shop.
But there was a problem there with pricing in the Instagram messages, a suggestion, because some of the texts were unavailable. He said originally they were $15,000. And then there was some discussion of $12,000. And then there was some discussion of $6,000. He says he'll pay half and you pay half. And you were always supposed to give them the snakes. Why would you pay half?
Then they get the 2 of the snake, and I get the 2 of the other snake. It's 5 of them. And the one that we're gonna pretty much, they can have it if they want it, or I can use it when I need it.
You mean the male?
Yes.
So that was the business. Anyway, you went there, and what happened?
So I went in recording. My ex-boyfriend told me, hey, record.
Don't tell me what your ex-boyfriend told you.
Okay.
Just tell me you went in and what happened.
We went in there and we asked him, hey, we agreed on 5 snakes. Now you switched up and you said now it's 2 snakes. First you told us it was $15,000, then $12,000. You were playing games with us the whole time. And at this point, after a week later that he said that he got the snakes, then he told us it was 2 snakes. At that point, we were upset because we had planned and we had counted with 5 snakes. That's why we gave him that ridiculous amount of money. And basically, we didn't want nothing else to do with him. We wanted our money back. And that's what we went for, our money back.
Just a second. Yes. So you walked in wanting your money back?
Yes.
Do you have any text messages, Instagram messages, suggesting that before you got there, you had said to him, we changed our mind, we don't want to be in business with you, we want our money back?
No.
Nothing?
No. He wasn't reaching out, sorry, Your Honor, he wasn't reaching out to us. He was sending him video calls, he was calling him through text message, my ex-boyfriend.
I don't care. You paid the money, he got snakes. The question is, you think there's supposed to be more than 2? He says 2. More were more money. So the ultimate agreement was for 2. So what happened when you went there? You're there with your boyfriend.
Yes.
And you say, I want my money back. And he says?
He says, I don't have the money here. I have 2 snakes here.
Are you telling me that he didn't call you and say your snakes are in? Is that what you're suggesting? Do you have an invoice for these snakes, Mr. Chow?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to see the invoice for the snakes. By the way, your boyfriend has other of these exotic creatures. Is that right?
To the people that I get them.
What kind of exotic creatures does he have?
One that he sold him, an Australian water monitor from the Philippines.
And?
He has 2 rhino iguanas, a pair. He has a, I don't know the name, but it changes colors.
Mr. Chow, transfer is August of 2018.
And those are for the lace monitor that
Are these lace monitors?
Yes.
Sorry, Your Honor, these are not lace monitors. These are reticulated pythons. These are not monitors. Monitors are lizards. These are snakes.
Lace monitor bell face.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, that's not that.
No, Your Honor.
Well, these are useless.
Yes, but that's connected to the rest of what they did.
What does it have to do with these 2 snakes? What I want to see is when you purchased these 2 snakes.
Yeah, I don't have it, Your Honor.
Well, get it. What do you mean you don't have it?
I left it at home. I'm so sorry.
Well, what'd you bring these for?
Those are the time that they both got arrested when they went to my shop.
Yeah, but you now have those back, right?
Yes.
You have those back. So if you had to take documents, why didn't you take the documents for the snakes in question? The lace monitor lizards aren't in question. You have them back. They may have taken them. They were arrested and you finally got them back. So I don't understand that.
I just mistaken grabbed the wrong paper.
Well, Mr. Chow, do you deal with these people regularly, that you buy snakes from them regularly?
Not really. Depends on the size of the animal and depends what kind of animal.
Well, you have the date of purchase someplace, Mr. Chow, and I don't want you to waste my time.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's why I just said I don't have it, Your Honor.
Did they purchase that kind of snake?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
It was 5 snakes, Your Honor.
Don't give me 5. That type of snake.
Oh, yes, the reticulated python, yes.
And the one that's outside is the same, correct?
Yes.
And you did not purchase baby snakes.
No.
You wanted full-grown snakes because they were a business. You wanted them able to be... breeding. Okay. Should have brought the paperwork. And you went in there that day in November because you had changed your mind.
Yes, and on top
Yes. Because you had changed your mind.
Yes.
That's the answer. You had changed your mind. You can give me a whole bunch of excuses, and you told him you changed your mind, you want your money back. And he said no, because I ordered the snakes, and I got them in, and they're yours. Contract is completed. I'm merely holding your property. And then there was a kerfuffle.
As well, can we have like receipt? How much did you really pay for them?
No, that's not your business. That's not your business, how much you really paid for them. He made a deal, you paid him. If he got them for $2,000 and you paid him $10,000, that's nothing. The kerfuffle, let's draw this down to its most simple English. You wanted your money back, and you wanted to cancel this contract.
Yes, it's just when we arrived, those weren't the snakes that we ordered. These were the breed of it, is the ones that he was putting here on Instagram, which I have, which is not those. So we ordered something and we got something else. So
is what you're telling me, you went there to pick up your, because now it's changed. You went there to pick up your snakes. When you got there, they turned out to be a different...
It's breed. It's like the...
Pythons, right?
Yes.
They're pythons, but it was a different kind of python. Now you're telling me because it was a different python, you wanted your money back.
Yes, because it wasn't what we paid for. It's like we paid for a Ferrari and we got a Toyota, basically. It's basically
You know nothing about pythons, so... You're taking your cues from your boyfriend because that's his strong suit. Is it yours as well?
No, I'm just the investor.
Right. So your boyfriend had a conversation with him and said, those aren't the snakes that I ordered.
Yes.
Okay. And I want my money back.
Yes.
And you said you recorded all this.
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Exotic pet store owner Brian Chow of wrongfully keeping money for a snake breeding business. Brian says he fulfilled their agreement and claims Cassandra stole property from his store.
And you said you recorded all this.
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Okay. You just press play.
Which one?
Right here. And then you press that.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Ready?
You guys just want to do the money back.
Yeah. The 10,180 in total, and then money on top of that for lending you the money and everything.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, because we didn't see this coming. You just kept on giving us a runaround and a runaround.
Oh, no, what?
About the mail. Remember that?
No, that's why I'm waiting for the mail to be delivered. I don't have the mail.
Yeah, but remember you had told us that the guy had it because he had to leave and he had to gut out because he has surgery and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We gave you the money right there and then. You don't understand what mission we had to go
I
through.
didn't know. I don't mind getting you guys your money back, but I don't have cash. If you want it right now, I don't have it.
We told you we want to do business correct, and you just keep on giving us another day and another day.
You told us as soon as we give you the money, the snake was going to be here.
Yeah, it's not about me, it's the guy. It's not me. I'm just buying the snake from a different guy.
And then another thing where you messed up, you said 5 snakes for $6,000, and you come at me with 4 and you wasted my money.
Yeah, and I told you that he gave me only 4 snakes, the big giant.
Yeah, and why would you waste money if I told you to get the 5 snakes?
If you worry about the last one, I can pay for it. It's a mail that we don't need.
But I have to do all this, so I have to get like this for you to do that?
No, bro.
How can I trust you now?
Bro, the 4 snake is right here.
I'm
gonna go get something. What's wrong with you, bro? I'm just asking you. Let's talk.
No, we're not gonna talk. I told you don't with me.
I don't talk with you, bro.
Dog.
Why? What's
wrong? Because we gave you a lot of money. We're talking about over $10,000, and you're just giving us the runaround. First, you told us 5 snakes.
This is what we can do. I'll take it. And when you get the money, I'll give it back. Yeah, female too.
Oh, no.
Oh, no? All right, well.
Come on, bro. You're looking at a 15 grand.
I told you, don't play with me.
I don't play with you.
You don't even have the money right now.
Open them up, man.
I got the half of the money.
Open them up.
I'm trying to talk to you, bro.
No, there's no more talking because we gave you the money right here and then. That's unprofessional. You're trying to scam us, and you don't do that to people like that.
I didn't. How did I scam you?
Before I open it.
You're telling me that you don't have the money.
I have half of the money because I'm waiting for the snake. Bro, if you guys gonna get arrested.
There's no arrested. We're just getting what you took from us. Over $10,000.
I'm trying to talk to you.
Over $10,000.
Open it.
I'm trying to
talk to you. No, we try to talk to you. You're telling us you're gonna have the money. I have everything in video.
I don't care. You can record me, bro.
All right, so are you gonna
You don't play with people's money. You can call whoever you want.
$15,000.
This is 15 grand. We don't care. Can you call a cop, please? No.
All right, watch out. I'm back away. I told you, don't play with my money.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? He owes me money. You need
I don't care. He owes us money. He owes us money. He owes us money.
They're gonna deal with it. With the police.
Now I'll play that video, please. That's your boyfriend breaking into the...
Yes.
And when he broke the glass and took out whatever lizards he took out with him, where did he take them? You were still with him?
Yes, he put it in a bin.
And is that you carrying them out?
Yes, and that's the reason why I was charged with the robbery, just because I walked out with the item.
That's all right. That's fine. That's a co-conspirator. Ultimately, the lizards that you took were returned to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it seems, Mr. Chow, at the beginning of this case, I must acknowledge to you that I was sympathetic to your position, that they had ordered snakes. You ordered them. You got them.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then the contract is completed. Uncross your arms.
No, I'm so sorry.
But it's clear from the tape that the plaintiff played for me that you acknowledged that you did not fulfill your end of the contract, that you were blaming your inability to fulfill your end of the contract on some third party. Is that what I heard in the tape? I mean, you know, my hearing's not really acute, but that's what you said. I have no control. I can give you back half your money, but I can't give you back all your money. So the contract was not complete.
It was complete because they supposed to get only 2 snakes.
I didn't see anywhere where it says just 2 snakes. There was a whole bunch of conversation there about the male snake, and you were supposed to deliver to them the male snake. And you said, I don't have that money now, but I can get that money for you. I can give you the first money. I don't have the second money. It was clear that the contract was not complete unless you have something to show me that it was. But what I heard, it was not. That doesn't mean that Ms. Duenas has the right to break your property and to steal property that belongs to you. What they do is they come into a court and say, you have my money. The contract was not fulfilled. I want my money back. That's what you do. Are you in the business of breeding snakes for your store?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if we were to go on the internet now,
Yes, Your Honor.
how much would one of those snakes, which is 6 or 7 years old, according to you, sell for?
Right now, this size you...
For whatever reason. If you put up that snake on the internet for sale, how fast would it take you to sell it?
I'd say like about a month and a half.
They're rare.
Yes.
Is that right? That's what you're saying.
It's rare and is just not a lot of people will acquire that much money.
Even though they can sell the babies. And how many babies do they have?
In a year, they can do from 30 to 50.
And each one of the 30 to 50, you can sell for $3,500.
Yes.
I suggest you do that. She gets her $10,000 back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $10,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
I'm very happy, and I'm happy that she was able to see herself that the defendant got caught multiple lies.
They're just a customer.
He wasn't truthful since the beginning. Ever since we invested.
They bought a snake. I just want to give their snake, but they don't want to take it.
And it's very sad how nowadays you can't trust in anybody.
I think one great lesson that a lot of people can take away from that is you have to know the business that you're investing in. I can appreciate she was sort of doing it for her boyfriend and he had the knowledge about the exotic animals, but that's her money at the end of the day. And if you're going to put your own hard-earned money on the line, it should be a business that you at least put in the time to learn about.
To understand.
Exactly. So that you don't have to rely on somebody else to make the right decisions.
Who's going to be gone tomorrow?
Exactly. Exactly.
And your money
who potentially could, and then you're left on your own, having to sue and navigate a field that you really know nothing about.
Smart. And it was also an example of a contract that was not fully executed.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought when I started the case that there was an offer, an acceptance, you performed, paid the money, got the snakes, and then you can't change your mind. Once you get it, you say, well, I changed my mind. But that's not what happened.
Nope.
And her video demonstrated that that's not what happened because Mr. Chow started to waft. Well, it's not my fault I don't have your mail. It's another guy, and I would give it to you, but I can't give it to you as soon as I get it, you know.
Yeah.
So he did not deliver on the contract. So I had very little compulsion other than to say, You don't have to take the snake and you get your money back.
Yeah.
Anyway, done. Yeah. And the snake is gone.
Left the building.
Case 2137, Weiss versus Light. All parties, please step forward.
Caitlin Weiss is suing her ex-boyfriend, Cody Light, for unpaid loans.
Ms. Weiss, the defendant was a boyfriend of yours for a period of time.
Correct.
And you allege a couple of loans. One from a year and a half ago, the balance of a $200 loan, he paid you back $100.
Yes.
Quite frankly, I'm not interested in what happened a year and a half ago. What you say is, I need time to catch up.
It was a verbal conversation.
Well, what's in writing is you saying to her, I can make payments to you. But the thing that you don't have in writing is where she forgave the loan. Is that right?
Caitlin Weiss claims her ex-boyfriend, Cody Light, is refusing to pay back loans she gave him during their relationship.
Okay, in March of this year, you allege that you gave him money. He was still your boyfriend in March of this year, is that right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
And in March of this year, he had gotten a car. What kind of car did you get?
It was a Buick Regal.
What year?
A 2004, I believe.
Where did you get it from?
I got it from a private seller.
How much did you pay for it?
$850.
Needed fixing.
Yes.
And you didn't have money for parts.
I did for the first round of parts.
But you didn't for the second?
After the first ones failed, I did not.
And how much did you need for parts?
That I don't remember.
Who bought them?
Miss Weiss did.
Did you buy them on a credit card?
I believe so, yes.
And you have no idea what you paid for those parts?
I don't remember.
But that would be in March of 2022.
It would have been in April.
Did you pay for the parts by credit card?
Yes, I paid between Cash App transactions that were transferred to Mr. Light through Cash App, which I have present here.
I'd like to see proof of them. What do they total?
They totaled up to $920.
Does that sound about right, Mr. Lippy?
That's about right.
Okay. And tell me about the discussion that you had with her when she paid for these parts.
There was a discussion of how I was going to pay her back.
And what did you tell her?
I did agree at that time.
And then what happened?
There were then later discussions as we were still in a relationship and I was in financial troubles that she told me not to worry about it.
This $920 was a loan in April of 2022. That's what you say. It was in April, not March.
Correct.
And then you say at some point she forgave that loan.
Right.
Tell me when that happened.
Shortly after the car got back together, which would have been in May. I was financially struggling.
Well, you weren't living together at the time?
No, she would periodically come over and
yeah, but you weren't living together at the time. So how would she find out that you were in financial trouble?
I mean, we were at that state in our relationship where she knew basically my financials all the time.
When did the two of you break up?
I believe that was in June.
So shortly after you say she forgave the loan.
That is correct.
Did you ever forgive this $920 loan?
No, I did not. Brennan Black was there the day that I had confronted Cody at a car meet and had offered him a short little payment of $790 where Cody said he would do it in payments.
Just a minute. You broke up in June.
Correct.
He says that you had a conversation before that, sometime in May, where you knew he was in financial difficulty. Did you ever have that conversation with him?
No, that is incorrect. I do have statements here to prove it as well.
I'd like to see them. So then you said he owed you $970. He had been giving you some money?
Yes, he had been giving me
It says, so that puts you at $670, okay? That's what you wrote.
Correct. He had been giving me money periodically throughout the beginning of the car parts.
Okay, but it says, so that puts you at $670, okay?
Yes, there's more transactions on the Cash Apps as well.
Oh, after that?
Yes, correct. Sorry.
No, sir. What you say is I need time to catch up. There's no forgiving here unless you have some...
It was a verbal conversation.
Well, what's in writing...
Right.
What's in writing is you saying to her, I need some time to catch up. I can make payments to you. All of that is in writing. But the thing that you don't have in writing is where she forgave the loan. Is that right? Yeah. $920. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done here. Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
It is what it is.
I think it was fair. Mr. Lake did owe me money, and he got what he deserved.
Yes, she lent me the money, but at the same time, she was helping me out in a relationship, and she knew I was struggling.
He said he was going to pay me back and never followed through even after that.
There were discussions about her telling me not to worry about it.
Not to trust so much.
I'm never going to do it again.
Oh, that's going to be a contract.
She was very prepared.
Oh, she was to the point, knew exactly what she needed.
And she had all of her evidence.
Yep.
All
just the way we like it.
All lined up. It's unfortunate when a loan becomes a gift and a gift then becomes a loan when the romance is over. These writings are always so helpful, and these text messages really are making my life much easier.
And one thing that I mention a lot is with Cash App or Venmo, always state if you're paying someone money, don't just send the money, put in the subject line. They have a subject line on those for a reason, for this car part, for this tow, for this XYZ, the other. So I always, when using Venmo or Cash App or something like that in an online transfer system, I'll send the money, and then in the transaction, you can put whatever you want in the memo line of Venmo. So housekeeping for me, I'll pay through that. Or other things, I list housekeeping for, and I put the date and the hours. So I at least have a record of who I'm paying electronically.
If you buy food,
or if I give someone money for dinner for half my meal, I say for my dinner on XYZ date.
And then you can get a printout.
Organized. Exactly.
And then you can, like a bank account?
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
It just keeps it organized. So I love it when litigants come in ready to go.
Well, that's good advice for people who use Venmo, to use the subject line.
Exactly.
रोज पिया बदानिया हो रोज पिया अरे बोला ता चूड़ी कंगना राजा जानिया हो अरे टूटा ता रोज पिया बदानिया हो अब हाथ के मेहंदी हमरो छूटत बाटे लाले लाले गलिया ओठ लालिया पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे रोआता से जिपे ओढ़ना बिछावाना हो अरे धाके कमरिया खेला खिलावाना हो धाके कमरिया खेला खिलावाना अरे रोआता से जिपे ओढ़ना बिछावाना हो अरे धाके कमरिया खेला खिलावाना और छाती से साटी के तकिया बितात बाटे लाले लाले गलिया ओठ लालिया पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे बेकार काइल सोरहो सिंगार हो हर तड़पेला जवानी अनुराग हो तड़पेला जवानी अनुराग हो बेकार काइल सोरहो सिंगार हो हर तड़पेला जवानी अनुराग हो और बिपिन तोहरे प्यार से मनवा खुगत बाटे लाले लाले गलिया ओठ लालिया पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत